Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe for new ComHack episodes every week.
Hi there, welcome to ComHack. I'm Joshua Weiss.
And I'm Tim Jones.
And this is a podcast where we help with providing hacks for communication, ways to improve your life in communications. Believe it or not, we all communicate one way or the other, and we feel that there are ways to maybe take some of the tools that we've learned and enhance that communication. Tim, I know that today we're going to talk about media richness theory. Now, we talk a lot about theories. The goal when we talk about theories is actually to help apply the theory to life today. Like, okay, what does this theory mean? Why does it matter? And why do I care enough to listen to the next 5 minutes of this podcast to actually learn something, right? And so why don't you start by helping the audience understand what exactly is media richness theory?
Yeah, media richness theory is kind of something we understand already, just kind of as humans as we communicate, but they kind of just put it to words. So the best way to understand it is if you're texting somebody and you're just having a conversation, a lot of times, I think we could all relate to this, there's some miscommunication over a text message because of I said something and now this person's interpreted differently than I meant it to come across, and now we're in a fight because I said okay and they thought it was bad. So
text doesn't have tone.
Text doesn't have any tone.
Email doesn't have tone.
Yeah. You can't write that in. You need to do more in order to explain yourself. So media richness theory basically says like those certain mediums of communications, they just don't deliver as much information as a like face-to-face interaction because you're losing the tone of voice, you're losing the inflection, you're losing the eye contact, that sort of thing. So in a text message, we usually have to over-communicate something because the pipeline in which we're distributing information is smaller than if we were in the room with the person and the pipeline is larger. So in a sense, that's a media richness theory.
So media richness, said another way, the medium that you use, whether it's a full-fledged video, an in-person presentation versus an audio presentation versus an email or text message, whatever the chosen medium you use to actually communicate something, it's going to have with it a whole lot of data, if you will, different things that you can learn from by the tone, the inflections, the eye contact, all those things, or a whole, very little amount of data like a text. Fair enough?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So why does that matter? How do those who watch our podcast, how do they actually apply that or use it in life?
Yeah, well, let's take an example like you're in school, okay, and you have to do a presentation. If I was doing a presentation about this book that I just read, and all I did was write an essay and distribute it to the class and, hey, read this essay, my point of, what I got out of this book, a lot of that's going to be lost. If I really loved this book, my passion's not going to come across as much in the writing because you can't really hear as much of like how excited I am and like my eyes are big and I'm energized and I'm excited about this book. If I wanted to get the point across that I really loved this book, then I would want to stand up in front of the class, give this presentation, maybe make the video, do these types of things that will really express the richness of how much I enjoyed this book.
So, yeah, that's fair. And it's also somewhat common sense.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty simple. The area where, or an example where it may not be common sense, total hypothetical situation. I'm explaining this new business, right? So we just recently have launched this new business, Arc MediaCom. So I'm explaining this new business to a potential investor, and I'm saying, hey, here's what we're doing. And I'm writing this long email or writing this narrative document or even a one page on this is the new business. And then later I communicate, hey, Tim, did you get a chance to look over that? Yeah, I did. So what exactly are you doing? Well, it was right there, right? I put it all in that document. And you're thinking, okay, yeah, so you're doing this and this and this. No, I'm also doing this and this and this and this and this. And you're like, but okay, I put it all in the document. Why didn't you not see it, right? It's not just a matter of retention. It's also a matter of what you're going to get as a result of me presenting it in person. So if I explain it to you in person, then you're going to hear where the pauses are, where the inflections are. Of course, if I have some sort of additional media presentation to go with it, it's going to communicate more clearly because there's more data in the medium that I'm choosing, and a face-to-face is obviously going to be different than just a Word document. And so, the media richness of your presentation is going to directly impact how well somebody receives it or retains it, understands it.
Yeah, I think you're touching on something really important, that retention of the impact of a richness in the communication that you choose. A text message or an email may not communicate enough where that impact will be there for the person to be like, oh yeah, I remember that person emailed me about the business. But if it's somebody I really like, you need to remember why I'm excited about this business, or I want you to not forget my business specifically, my business plan specifically. Say it's somebody trying to decide where to invest, and if they get tons of these papers or tons of these emails, but yours stands out because it has a richer media format to communicate your passion and your excitement with the video, or a presentation that has a recorded voiceover maybe, because then you could actually hear the excitement in the voice, that will leave a better impact because the communication method was richer than just the text.
So here's a funny application or identification of this taking place. Went to a nice high-end steakhouse the other night, right? And on the menu, it says if you want your steak cooked, rare, medium, and it goes through and explains, well, this is a warm pink center, and it explains all of the different, ways that you cook your steak. So it's right there on the menu, right? It was communicated clearly in the menu. It's right there. Well, when the waiter comes around and he asks, how would you like your steak cooked? And you say, I want my steak cooked medium, medium. And he says, so you would like your steak cooked with that'll have a warm pink center. Yeah, that's what I said. It's medium.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, it's funny because it's like, we understand what medium is, but he was trying to communicate it's a richer media to say it in person with the tone and everything, because he wanted to make sure there's no question of how you're going to get your steak. And it's right there on the menu too, but he communicated it more richly because it was media richness theory.
Yeah, exactly. So, all that being said, choose your media carefully. We talk about that a lot because the richness of the media can communicate more effectively than others. So I think that's the hack for today.
All right, fair enough.
If you guys want to check out more, go ahead and head over to communicationhack.com. You can always follow me on Instagram at @TLJonesy_.
And you can follow me at Joshua D. Weiss. And until the next time, keep communicating.